Hey everyone, this is SPC Plainfield. Yes, it is currently 7:17 on a Friday night. While we are tracking snow squalls in Wisconsin, yes, there is a snow squall warning scrolling on my info center. And I'm on a StreamYard with Ryan Gage and Storm Tracker 998.
Yep.
And by request, Gage wanted me to make an update video about the weekly test schedule. Basically, a schedule of auto weeklies on the GWES website. So we're gonna go ahead and start at 11. So here we go. So 11:59 p.m. Saturday night. KFTI 1070 out of Wichita, Kansas, does an auto weekly. I was able to DX the channel, so they are not a streamer, but I managed to DX them. And then immediately after, WCLC out of Jamestown, Tennessee, will do their auto weekly. That's at midnight. And then WWJK out of Green Cove Springs, Florida, happens at 1:01 a.m. East. At 1:01 a.m. They are not a streamer. There is no listen here link. Oh boy. Flood warnings. Flood warnings. Yeah. Cut. Anyway, continuing on. Next is KCHO out of Chico, California. Happens at midnight Pacific time, along with KFPR, KFOI, and then WKYS. Those are all at 2 a.m. So KCHO, KFPR, KFOI, and WKYS will all test at 2 a.m. And then in addition to WMMJ, we also have WAPE, WEZI, WJGL, and WXXJ. All of those are out of Florida. Next is WKPS out of University Park, Pennsylvania at 3:15 a.m. That is not a streamer. WOL is. And then WYCB is at 2:20 a.m. Yeah, that's exactly right. Even though it looks like they are a streamer, they are not. Then KCWU out of Ellensburg, Washington. That's at 2:30 a.m. That's not a streamer. KROG and KRVC are next, although KRTA does go along with them as well, but they are not a streamer. Those happen at 3:15 a.m. WJOU will follow 15 minutes after at 3:30 a.m. And then two stations out of Baxley, Georgia, WBYZ and WUFE, will all test at 4 a.m. Hot KLAZ out of Hot Springs, Arkansas, will test at 6:05 a.m. Then WOKA out of Douglas, Georgia, will test at 1:10 p.m. That's on Sunday. Obviously, KDKA, we know their time frame. And then we have 5 different stations out of Michigan. WCCMM, WGKL, WGLQ, WGMV, and WPF will all test at 10 p.m. And then we continue into Monday. We go into Monday. Yeah, that's right. The first one is WEZL out of Charleston, South Carolina. That happens at 12:05 a.m., but they are not a streamer. WJAD, WKAK, and WQVE, with a few locations out of Georgia. They all go at 1:05 a.m. That's going to be followed by WAQY out of Springfield, Massachusetts, which happens at 1:11 a.m. Then 4 minutes after is WHAS out of Louisville at 2:15. But before that is KTSB out of Tulsa. That's at 2:07 a.m., which will be immediately followed by WWL out of New Orleans. Then we have WGY and WRVE out of Schenectady. But then also WTRY will be testing along with them.
Don't forget WGY too.
That's what I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Anyway, then WPSU TV out of Clearfield, Pennsylvania at 2:15 a.m., although there is no stream for that. Then KILT out of Houston, Texas. That goes at 2:55 a.m. Then WPBC and WRNB will both go at 3 a.m. Both of those are not streamers, unfortunately. And then KESR, KEWB, KHRD, KKXS, and KNCQ will all test at 3:10 a.m. And then KBHN out of Boonville, Arkansas will test at 4 a.m. KDAL, KTCO, KDKE, WDSM, WDUL will all test at 5:12 a.m. However, WDSM, WDUL are not streamers. The other three are. And then, of course, WYAB. KWIZ out of Santa Ana, that is not a streamer. That's at 7:06 a.m. Then KCIL and WGUO, both out of Louisiana, will test at 9:45 a.m. Then KIOW out of Forest City can test anywhere between 1 and 3:35 p.m. When I'm at school, getting that test is going to be difficult because we're going to be dealing with the IPAWS tests. Yeah, speaking of that, that's right up here. Pennsylvania's IPAWS is at 6 a.m. on Tuesdays, which is what... but before that, though, WFBC out of Greenville, South Carolina tests at 12:30 a.m. They are not a streamer. WZZK out of Birmingham that at 2:15 a.m. That is not a streamer. But WMBX out of Jensen Beach, Florida is a streamer, and that goes at 3:30 a.m. And then we have KLSM, KSBU, and WBBV. They all go at 2 p.m. All of them will test at 2 p.m. And then Wednesdays, WTMC. Gage already knows this. That's at 1 a.m. 2 a.m. WSCL out of Salisbury, Maryland.
Not a streamer.
Yep, not a streamer. And then WAZZ, WFLB, and WUKS, 3 stations out of North Carolina, will test at 2:35 a.m. 3 minutes after will be WZFX out of Whiteville, and almost immediately after will be WKML out of Lumberton, North Carolina. And then at 3:30 Central, WIXX and WTAQ, both out of Green Bay, will do their test. And then WPRO out of Providence will test at 3:50 a.m. KLLI of Los Angeles, well, they are not a streamer, yep. KTAR is not a streamer, although it does appear that they... I'm going to check them and see if they are a streamer, then it will likely be a quiet test. Which, yes, WJAS is the quiet test. Then KBTO out of Bunchie, North Dakota at 10:10 a.m. That's it. These are on Wednesdays, by the way. And then WSVS and WVHL at 10:30 a.m. KXLE out of Ellensburg, Washington. That can happen anywhere between 10:54 a.m. to 12:55 p.m. That's going to be one of the harder ones to get. KSUX, Winnebago, Nebraska, will test sometime after Aberdeen does theirs, 11:46 to 11:51. And then during the Pacific, WGPA out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 1:05 p.m. And then 3 stations out of the American Samoa, KKBT, KKHJ, and WVV will all go at 3:10 p.m. However, when we roll the clocks forward, I believe that's going to be 4:10 p.m. However, I will have to check. Next, on Thursday, WBFM, WHBL, WHBZ, and WXCR out of Wisconsin will all test at 3:15 a.m. KDZN out of Glendive, Montana will test at 4 a.m. WFTL and WEMN will test at 4:10 a.m. KPWR out of LA at 5:30 a.m. We know they're not a streamer. And then WBBL out of Richton happens at 1:30 p.m. Then on to Friday, WLIN out of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania could happen at 1:22 a.m. to 1:25. And of course at 2:30 a.m. we have the Chicago iHeart Network. We have 6 stations. Rock 95.5, WGRB, KISS FM, Light FM, V103, and then WVON. All those are out of the Chicago area. Then KHAS and KLIQ, 2 out of Nebraska, will all test. Okay. Then KKPR out of Kearney will test at 5 a.m. And then WDEC out of Americus will test at 9:20 a.m. Saturday, WZMX out of Hartford, Connecticut will test at either 12:44 or 4:44 a.m. Of course, WJFK, we know about this one already. WRUS out of Russellville, Kentucky will test at 3:03 a.m. WPRT out of Pegram, Tennessee can test anywhere between 4:10 and 4:20 a.m. That WZGO out of Aurora, North Carolina is at 5:10 a.m. However, I don't know if they are a streamer. I will have to confirm. And then finally, KFBK out of Sacramento can test at 7 a.m. on a random weekday, which is similar to WTOP, how they can test at 6:53, 7:53, 8:53, 9:53, or 10:53 anywhere on a weekday. It's kind of like that. And then, of course, here's the incredibly massive list of other stations that test at random. They all test at random, and yes, WIDA is in here. And yes, WIDA is in here. Let's see if I can find WTOP. Oh, they're not in here. I guess they have yet to add that. Anyway, then, that is... well, I would say DC news station, but there's a different station that's a talk station in DC. Anyway, on that note, so if any of you would like to get these auto weeklies, I would suggest referring back to this video. Yeah, I would suggest referring back to this video. Yeah, referring back to this video for information. And on that note, this has been SPC Playing Field with Storm Tracker and Ryan Gage. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.